Alrighty guys, it is time to find out if the reproduction anti-roll bars that I had made completely fit the car. We know the front one fits. Now I got the rear one in the correct size, and I'm gonna find out if it fits in the back. The suspension design is very similar to the front. This suspension setup in the rear of the AZ-1 and the Cara is actually the setup from the Alto. This entire drivetrain is basically taken from the front to put into the rear. So this is what an Alto looks like. Of course, the Alto would have a longer exhaust going from the front all the way to the back, but basically the rest of it is pretty much the same. That's why the engine layout and the motor, transmission, whatever, is all the same. Downpipe and whatnot is exactly the same too. However, the constraints on the Alto is that weird, like, small radiator that's kind of off to the side, and that's why the downpipe, it just cuts straight down. Oh wait, there it is. This is why it looks like this. In our car, it doesn't make much sense, but in the Alto, it does. Taking the cotter pin out. It's a little inconvenient because I have the car jacked up on the rear subframe rather than the pinch welds, so the arm might be a little bit in my way, but I think I can manage. I don't know what your bolts will be because mine were replaced. These are 13 mils. We take the brackets off first so they don't fall on my head. Oh, they're already on the floor. Just like before, the bar should just kind of come down, pull away from the control arms. Let's give that a go. Using my hammer to give it a little bit of a tap to push the bar out. Just like the front, they're under some tension, but this is a smaller bar, so it should be easier. I just got the two bushings out. There we go. I have gotten it loose, but I can't. Oh. So because my arms are over here, this makes it a little bit more difficult than it needed to be. If I loosen the bracket that holds the e-brake lines, I think I can get it out. Ow! Right. I'm loosening the e-brake cable holder so I can get the bar out. If I push the bar out of the way, I mean. Alright, so I'm gonna fold this down. Hopefully it gives me enough space. Alright, I got one side out, I got the other side out. Perfect. Okay. There we go. Can I rotate? Nope, nope. That was easy. The rear side was a lot easier. Okay. I laid the new bar over the old bar. You can see where all the bends are. They seem to be correct where they should be. I'm gonna check a random thickness. Let's pick right here, just kind of like my front bar. And we are at 22 millimeters as spec. This is correct. I'm gonna mount this guy right back up there. Without the anti-roll bar, the suspension is just one control arm, one mounting point. So your wheel can go left and right, and it's kind of spooky. So the reason some of my bolts are replaced was because at one point I was missing both bolts and the thing was just wiggling around on its own. So I had a weird rubbing issue that I never had before, and that was strange, and I investigated and found that my bolts were missing. Bolts keep vibrating off the car. I don't know. Somebody didn't tighten it at some point. I don't know. I didn't touch it. This is my first time messing with it, so hopefully I'll tighten them all the way. Weighing the new 22 millimeter bar, it is 10 pounds and 11.9 ounces, 4.878 kilos. The original bar is 4.076 kilos, and that is 8 pounds and 15.7 ounces, so basically 9 pounds. The new bar is about a pound heavier. Okay, so these guys are killing me here. This is a 20 millimeter bushing. That's what they supplied me. But that's a 22 millimeter bar. So when I put this on here, obviously it doesn't fit. There we go. What's nice this time around is that I guess I have a little bit of support holding the bar, and this bar is not as heavy as that front one. Get the braking stuff out of the way and put this through the hole. Alright, there's one. Oh, and there's two. Take the bushing, feed it through, put the washer on. Need a little bit. This bar is much thinner, so you can kind of pull on it with your hand without all those straps and stuff. So it makes for installing and adjusting much easier. So now this capsule nut goes on. The same on this other side. See how the bushing doesn't go in all the way? That's where you have to kind of pull on the bar a little bit. There you go. Also, I didn't check my ball joints, but I think the ones back here were okay. Just my front ones were bad. Ooh, that's spooky. Shouldn't push the car too hard. Dude. This bushing doesn't fit. They gave me the smaller size bushing. I tested the bracket here. The bracket fits where it should be. I told them it should be fine as long as they just bore out the center of the bushings, not changing the outer dimension. Actually, let's talk about the mounting stuff for the front bar. The front bar is just like the rear. It has a bracket. It goes into around this bushing thing, and then it goes right onto the frame. That's what it looks like. So right now, this bushing looks pretty good. It is wrapped around the way it's supposed to be. I haven't changed this side yet, but you can see how this one's all squashed and like weird. Well, let me show you why. So over here, this is the original bushing for the original bar. It goes like this, and it has a bushing on it. So this is a smaller bar. When you upsize the bar, the bushing got bigger. So what they did was they produced me a new bracket for some reason in the same size, like this. If anything, it's a little bit off. So I tried to use this. It did not work. I did eventually get it to work. What I ended up doing was I had to squash this on, yeah, I had to see how like this one is a little bit, well, this one's better now. It's not so bad. But anyways, from what they gave me, I had to squash it this way, like inward. I used my vise and just kind of crushed it a little bit. Then the holes lined up and it did what it was supposed to. So the issue with that would be that the bar is now bigger, the bushing is bigger, and this thing was exactly the same size as the original thing. And that was no good because it would crush that. It would crush the bushing like it did there. I mean, it works. It's not great, but it worked. Because of that, I complained. I took this, I had my buddy draw it up and stuff, and I told him what kind of dimensions we need to change. He told me about how like there's a bending radius, all this stuff. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Just make it flat. And then it's supposed to go in here, move the hole a little bit and whatnot. Also, most importantly, this part needs to be elongated this way, hence this one. See how this one is longer than that one to accommodate for the enlarged bushing. I just mounted this one on the car. That's this one here. It fit perfect. So I guess I had to supply the manufacturer my actual specs, which I didn't do before because I figured this wasn't that hard to do. Maybe, I mean, I guess I'm assuming they didn't do the math on enlarging the whole thing, but I don't know. I mean, aren't they supposed to do that? Whatever. We are good now. So we have good front brackets. The rear brackets are also good. There, where are they? There we go. The rear brackets are also good, and I just need that hole to be bored out more. The 20mm bushings were made from the fiasco of the whole rear bar situation, where for some reason they decided to make a 20 bar when I asked for a 22 bar and thought that was okay because my sample I supplied was a 20 bar. I don't know, whatever. So now I gotta confirm with them. I think it is still Spring Festival, Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, whatever you want to call it. I think it's still going on there. I don't know if they're back to work yet. And then they have to just reply and tell me what the situation is with the bushings. I'm pretty sure this is good the way it's supposed to be. So maybe in like another month, like March, these bars will be in you guys' hands. So for those of you that want to upgrade your sway bars and anti-roll bars, whatever you want to call them, if you want to upgrade them so you can handle better because the car will roll a little bit less, apply forces more evenly across the tires and whatnot, and not have your weight shift and kind of, I don't know, upset the balance of your car. They will be available soon. I will have pricing soon because I will ask them about shipping. What's really cool about this is Autogiano out in Japan. If you're familiar with these cars, you'll know Autogiano. Autogiano is kind of like me. He's just some guy out there just making cool stuff for their Autozams and Suzuki Caras. The cool thing is I reached out to Mr. Suzuki like months ago, like sometime in the summer last year, like, hey, do you guys have any interest in this stuff? So I reached out to him. He agreed that he wants to have 15 bars. So I'll have 15 sets sent to Japan, and I'm going to distribute these kind of all around the world. And that way it reduces shipping, because why ship them from China to me in the US and then have me ship them out to wherever they need to go if it's not local in the US. It's even better if I can get them to ship directly to you guys that buy it, because then that will save even more shipping, right? I mean, we're trying to bring this cost down. So I'm starting with 50 sets. 15 will go to Japan. That leaves me 35. I would kind of distribute some. I think some guys in Australia wanted some, and then some guys in Europe wanted some. So 35 left. I don't know, 5 or so go to Australia, let's say. That brings us to 30. 30, let's say 5 or 10 go to Europe. Maybe that's too many, I don't know. Then I'll have 20. 10 go to Europe, I'll have 20. 20 in the US. Maybe not, I don't know. Okay, while I'm talking about this, I came up with an idea. I think I should just kind of have everyone pre-order them. I need to find out how much they cost first, then I'll poll everybody to see, hey, who wants a set, and then I'll figure out how to distribute them around the world. And then hopefully I don't end up with too many of them at my house, because, yeah, this is bad. I don't think I want to do this ever again. I don't want to manufacture something overseas in mass quantity like this, because I will get stuck with them. So please help me out here. Don't let me get stuck with 15 sets of anti-roll bars. That's 30 bars. That's 30 of those things. Okay. I called my buddy up about my dilemma here with the whole bushing not being the right size, and at this moment, yeah, I can wait for them to send me a new bushing, but I want to do it right now. So he gave me this idea where I can heat up the bar or heat up a pipe or something and just ream the pipe through here and melt this rubber. Since I didn't want to mess up the paint on my bar, he suggested I use something else, and I was like, oh, I could buy a pipe or something that's 22 mil. And he suggested I find a socket. This is a 1/2 inch 12-point socket. I don't really care about this thing. I don't never really use it. I don't care if I mess it up. And this guy is 21.94 millimeters, and that's close enough. I think that'll work. And what's cool is this is tapered, and the taper is exactly the right size for this. It's almost like this was meant for reaming this hole. Woo! Was this a great success? I don't know. Let's see. It looks bigger. It might actually fit. You can see this layer of rubber that it peeled off. There we go. Let's get that out of here. Yeah, there's a nice goo. I think there was some like rubber, I think there was like some oily grease or something in here too. That's what that smoke was also. And then adding to the stink. This was disgusting. I think that worked. I just need to line this thing up. It's stiff, so I need to kind of see how there's like some play where I can push the thing around. So I'm gonna try to pull the wheel as I need and get the bolts back in. Seem to have got one side in. The rear bar is so nice to work with because it's not enormous. You can flex it as you need. Okay. That worked like a charm, actually. This looks great. This is even better fitment than the original bushing. It's like perfect. It's like, all right. So let's do this side. Now I know how to do it, and it smells horrendous, but it is what it is. Gotta do what you gotta do. Tighten the parking brake braces back on. All right, there we go. The oh, I gotta put the cotter pins back in. Let me confirm that this side wasn't tight yet. There it is, the anti-roll bar is installed. That's how you remove and reinstall a rear anti-roll bar on a Suzuki Cara Autozam AZ-1. This is the upsized 22mm one. It fits perfectly fine. The Alto would be the same. I think the servo is the same too. So if you're working on the front bar, that's what this would be like, but it'll be in the front of the car. Where are my cotter pins? Let's put my cotter pins back in. I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe for more K-Car stuff. I'm glad that I was able to get some sort of a solution here so I can actually just finish this up and not have it be another thing that is hanging out undone, unfinished. So this is good. I can't drive and test it yet. I gotta wait. I don't know if there's gonna be like a good rainstorm or something that washes all the salt away. I got the car dry iced, as you know. I'm gonna work on the floor and stuff. So I can't give you like a drive, ride and feel situation with the stiffer bar in the rear. But I will get to that. These will be available soon, because now that I've confirmed this, I gotta work out the bushings. They will probably be available and start shipping by next month, by March. So actually that's not that long from now. So yeah, they will be available to ship. I will have to poll where everything's going, and I will get the final prices, and I'll let you guys know. It'll be posted on my website. I got a few new URLs. So autozamparts.com, that's probably a good one too. So autozamparts.com, go to the shop page or even go to the projects page. I'll have like a good update on what's going on here.